Oh boy, have I got a story to tell you. Listen here. We're going to spill some tea. Hey, y'all. I am sitting here watching Toddy One Skip, and I totally, totally agree with her about this chick, Sunny. Um, she knew that the Whittakers were poor, but yet she's gonna come in there into Patrick's home with um her phone or tape recorder or whatever have you, recording in her pocket, not telling Patrick that she's recording him, which is one against the law. You have to tell people when they are being recorded. You cannot record someone in their home and then try to use it against them like she did. I'm sorry, but she did. Sunny said out of her mouth to come at her. Told Patrick, come at her. Get a lawyer because she doubts he can afford one. Well, baby girl, I'm sure it's like this in every single state. But I know in the state of West Virginia, you can get a lawyer and the lawyer will take that person to court, and that lawyer will make you pay his legal fees. So I hope you do take him to court. I hope to God you take him to court, because he can bring up you coming into his home with a hitting recorder recording the conversation, then putting it online without his permission. And I know y'all are going to say, well, it's the same thing he done to Eric. Not really. Not really. See, there's a fine line there. There's a fine line there. Eric was at Patrick's house. That was a security camera. A CCTV, whatever you want to call it. Home security, but it don't matter. That's Patrick's property. That's where it's the fine line. That's right there's where it's the fine line. You cannot go, I can't go into your home and record our conversation and blast it on social media to twist the narrative to make it look like you're the bad guy. Just like Sonny did to Patrick. Then want to blast how he lives. If she wants to talk about that's not her kind of people. Sonny, if you, I tell you what, I can afford to make them your kind of people. Okay, I can afford it. I will make them your kind of people. Let me go get a bed. I will buy them a bed. I will put it in the living room. I will get him a megaphone. I will get him some people in there just for the day. If I have to hire some people, I will hire some people just for the day to wait on him hand and foot. Now that will be your type of people. You going in there and you got an organization and you're help people, you so-called help people, but yet you want to go in there and you want to judge someone. You knew how the Whittakers lived. Everyone knew. Everyone knew. If not from Mark's videos on soft white underbelly, then from Patrick's videos or Eric's videos. It's no secret. There's even other content creators that like what was it I seen it on? It was the history of West Virginia. or something. They had a whole segment of the Whittakers. I can't remember exactly what the name of the YouTube channel is, but they did a whole segment on the Whittakers. Okay? Yes, the guy got some of the names wrong and all that, but in the gist of it, he got about, I'd say 90% of it correct. From what we've seen. 90% of what we've seen. 90% of what I know from my husband's sibling, not friend, sibling that knew them. Okay? So, and I also watched Kathy, the Curious Deep Dive Study, channel. If y'all haven't checked out either one of these ladies, Toddy or Kathy, y'all go check out their channels. But I was watching her too, and Eric's sitting there trying to say that Ray never had a smile on his face, trying to insinuate that he was the first one that Ray smiled at. He was the first one that Ray sung for. He was the first one that bought Ray an ice cream cake. Dude, you're not the first. You are not the savior of this family. You went in there with ill intentions. You had this planned out. Oh, I know you had this planned out. You seized that opportunity. You seized someone looking for someone to help the Whittakers because he cared about the Whittakers. Do I like the way Patrick talks to Betty? No. No, I do not. Because for one, you got her sister that was SA'd, and then Timmy came. That's how Timmy came along, was through SA. She's had boyfriends. She said that she's had boyfriends in the past, but she's never got married. She promised her mom at 12 years old that she would take care of her siblings, okay? And you're going to sit there and you don't need that kind of sugar. You got this sugar or something. Always teasing her, trying to get her, trying to get a rise out of her. And I know that's just teasing. I understand, that Patrick probably didn't mean no harm by it. But all in all, Patrick, you got to stop and think what this family's gone through. What this family's been through. What they could have been through. That we don't know. We do not know what all they've been through. So things like that, that's not the type of joking around that you need to do with Betty or Lorraine or any of them, to be honest. But kudos to you though, Patrick, for taking them to Aldi's and letting them get their groceries, which I've been to Aldi's, and I'm telling you right now, you could have went to I think there's a Kroger there. You could have downloaded the Kroger app and went through there and showed, well, you don't even really have to show her anything. You could have just pressed the button, clip all coupons. Okay, Kroger's always got good sales. They have good coupons, really good digital coupons. Aldi's don't have that. And Aldi's is more overpriced than what people want to make them out to be. Their sodas are not good. They're not. We've bought their sodas before, and oh God, they were so gross. But you could have took them to Kroger or Walmart, somewhere. Food Line is too expensive. I would never. I used to shop at Food Line when I was in a pinch and a hurry, because we lived right beside of down the street a little bit. We were closer to the Food Line than we were Walmart or Kroger. But if I was in a hurry, I had to go there. And I did not like shopping at Food Line. They are too expensive. But, I mean, there's Price Cutters. Price Cutters is pretty decent place to shop. But Aldi's is getting to be more expensive than Walmart. And, but Sonny, Eric, and Patrick, out of all three of them, if, you know, we had to sit and watch somebody talk about them or anything like that or do anything for them, I would rather it be Patrick, to be honest. Do I trust Patrick? Not 100%. No. But Sonny is, I knew she was I knew how she was when I first heard her start talking. When she first came on the scene, I knew she was nothing but a female Eric. And Eric, like I told you before, dude, there's a special place in hell for people like you. You took advantage of this family. Eric, I'm sorry, but you are just a piece of shit. I'm just going to say it. Somebody needs to say it. You did not go in there with good intentions. You did not go in there with thinking of helping this family out. You just seen dollar signs. You seen filling your pockets full. Because one thing I could say about Mark, which I want somebody to prove me wrong, and if I'm wrong, I will come on here and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong, but prove me wrong. Mark never got reimbursed for taking them to Walmart. When he said, it's on me, guess what? It was on him. He paid for that out of his pocket. He paid for everything out of his pocket. The money that he gave to the Whittakers throughout the weeks and stuff, throughout the months, that was what came out of GoFundMe. Now, when Mark took them bowling, when Mark took them to go get haircuts, took them out to eat, state fair, all that stuff, Mark did that out of his own pocket. He didn't get reimbursed. But Eric, that's all he was worried about. He wanted his reimbursement. And reimbursement for what? And how did haircuts come out to be over $500? Eric, tell me that. In the state of West Virginia, please tell me. Here, yes, haircuts are a little expensive in Alabama, but you're not in Alabama, my dear. And, another thing. He was talking about how he had to pay for Ray's medical expenses. Okay, Ray's got Medicaid. He's got disability, so he has Medicaid. And I do know this because I have a disabled son. And he has Medicaid. He has his disability check and he has Medicaid. And they don't change it. When you become a senior, they still don't change it. Because if you're totally disabled, you get Medicaid. Okay? So why are you taking him to one of those Med Expresses? Why are you doing that? Huh? I know Kathy said something about it, and she said, well, he's got Medicaid, it would have paid for it. No, Med Express is the ones that are them quick medical places, and they don't take Medicaid. They don't. You have to pay out of pocket, or you have to have some type of insurance. And that's what I don't understand. There's community cares in West Virginia. And they're open 7 days a week. Community cares is open 7 days a week up till 8 p.m. at night. Do not tell me he could not have took him to a community care. Hell, take him to a hospital. And why are you paying for his medicine? He's got Medicaid. Why are you paying for his medicine? Oh, because you want people to think that you paid a high price for his medicine. You wanted people to think that you paid a high price for him to go to that quick care. They give you receipts. They give you receipts. They're like this, a big sheet of paper. Show receipts, Eric. If you went to Walmart and got his medicine, or anywhere, honestly, go into anywhere. Publix down here, it's got a pharmacy. They give you receipts for your medicine. Show them receipts. I want to see how much you paid for it. And why are you worried about getting Larry set up with medical marijuana? Why? And in the state of West Virginia, you can walk into any smoke shop and buy it. It's not that expensive. Please tell me. Okay? Tell me why. You can buy bowls there. You can buy the hookahs. You can buy all that stuff there. And you can buy your Mary Jane's there. You don't have to have a medical card. But you know what else I found out by doing a little research? You can buy a medical marijuana card in one state and have it transferred at no additional fees to another state. So I'm thinking that medical marijuana card wasn't for Larry. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he did get one. Eric got one, but it wasn't for Larry. Another thing. I don't know. Eric said out of his own mouth that he was addicted. Maybe once upon a time he was addicted to painkillers. I just kind of wonder, did he take Ray to the doctor? Did the doctor give Ray pain pills? Like gabapentin? Where are those pain pills? Where's that prescription? I used to be on that. And I took myself off. I took myself off. Because for one, it did not work for my pain. It did not work. And what I'm taking now for pain, it only like edges it. It don't take the pain fully away, but it edges it to bearable. But I don't understand. And if he did take Ray's medicine, I'm not saying he did. This is hypothetical, okay? This is my opinion. This is hypothetical. If he did take Ray's medicine with him and not give it to Ray, if Ray did get him any pain pills and he did take it, best believe he will drive that 10 hours or more to West Virginia to Odd, because he'd have to get it refilled at the pharmacy. Okay? At the pharmacy that prescribed it, that filled that, or they didn't prescribe it, but filled that prescription. So he would have to drive up there to get that refilled. I'm just hoping all this investigation that the state's supposed to be doing, I hope it's more of an investigation of not just, or not more of an investigation, but a deeper investigation of not just money-wise, financial-wise, but medical-wise. This crap of him slandering the family. Yes, like I said in some of my videos, yes, I have seen Ray with pee stains, pee on his pants, or I can't say pee. I don't know. It could have been coffee. If you pay attention to one of Mark's videos, when he's pulling the chair, he spilt it right on his pants. Spilt coffee on his pants. Okay? He had a wet spot on the front of his pants. But it wasn't pee. It was coffee. So who are we to say that Ray sits there and pees himself? When I've seen on many of Mark's videos, Ray runs outside. He would rather go pee outside. I think I've seen 2 or 3 videos where he actually used a restroom. And one of the videos where they went to Walmart, Ray accidentally walked into the women's restroom. But he went to the restroom. He didn't pee himself. He didn't soil himself. So, y'all, I'm back. I had to go take Roy to school. But, anyways, as I was saying, who are we to say if, and who are you, Eric, to say that they had piles and layers and layers and layers of defecation on them and all this, that, and the other? Dude, you are the biggest liar. I'm sorry. But if he had layers and layers and layers of defecation on him, constantly, pooping himself and peeing himself and doing this and doing that, why didn't you do something about it? Instead of calling APS, why didn't you go in and clean him up and just tell him, say, now, Ray, we got bathrooms here, okay? We don't pee and poop in our pants. Since they want to mock you and do what you do so bad. And they look up to you more than they do anybody else. And so, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you just clean him up? You didn't have to tell the whole world that he was filthy and he had defecation on him and pee all over him and all this, that, and the other. And they lived just a god-awful. Who are you? Who are you to sit and think it's your business to tell anyone, anything, anytime, any day, any hour? It is not your business. If you didn't like it, leave. But, you did. But you took the Whittakers' money. You filled your pockets full. Over $200,000. What did the Whittakers get? What did they get? Honestly, what did they get? Besides them buying their own selves haircuts, taking themselves to the movies, buying this and that and the other for themselves, plus you, and pretty much they paid for your Airbnb. They paid for everything for you. Your gas. They paid for it all. You wasn't up there to help the Whittakers. You was up there to gain money. And you did. Over $200,000. Dude, are you really that needy for money? Are you that much in need? If so, I think maybe you need to invest in like stock, get a better job, tell Wifey Poo to go get her a job. But being on this dad talk podcast, whatever it is, what is that? If that's not a job and it's not paying your bills, go get a real job. I can probably guarantee you, if he would go and flip hamburgers at Burger King, he probably would make more money. But, I can't say that because I am not monetized. I'm not monetized on YouTube at all. I am on TikTok. I am not on YouTube. You have to have over 1,000 subscribers and so many views, so many likes, so many shares to be monetized. I am not monetized. I have 175 subscribers. I'm doing this because I want to get my opinion out there. I want to get my views out there. I want to tell people how I feel about everything that's going on. Plus, I want to let the people know how they do things in West Virginia. Because, I lived in West Virginia. My husband was born and raised in West Virginia. So all of his family, for generations back, they've all been from West Virginia. They're not going to go and do different things in different counties in West Virginia. Everything is just, I'm telling you, they're not. One county is not going to be no different than the other. I can tell you that much right now. And when I tell you that people do live like that, like the Whittakers, and people mind their own business. They do. They live like that. And people mind their own business. Who is it for us to judge them? If we don't think that they're clean, we don't think that they're sanitary, if we don't think that they're living the way we would want them to live, stay out of their house. Stay out of their business. Stay out of their lives. They don't need anybody coming in there, rocking the boat, splitting up a family. And I'm telling you, I know how CPS, APS, and all that works. Did I have to deal with them? No. The only thing I had to deal with was when I took in my son's girlfriend and fostered her. And it was a kinship foster. Even though we're not related, it was still a kinship foster. And when I took in my husband's niece and nephew, we had temporary custody over them. I know how they work on that end. And I've seen people getting their kids taken away and stuff. I did have a job. I did talk to people. I did find out how things work. So, APS is not going to go in and just strip a family out of their home because of roaches, because somebody has rats, because of spiders, because of hoarding. And that's what they would consider it. They're not going to consider that pile of clothes and that pile of stuff dirty or messy or anything. They're going to consider it hoarding. And what they do is they give a time frame in order for you to get it cleaned up. Roaches are hard to get rid of. If anybody has roaches, they know it is hard to get rid of. Rats, mice, I don't care how clean you are. In fact, I had a squirrel in my house. My house is clean, dude. My house is clean. But a squirrel come down my chimney. The flue was left open by the previous tenants that rented here. We had to close the flue. We don't use our fireplace. We keep it closed. But I opened it up because I was going to clean it out like I do. I clean my house every day. And I clean certain areas once every 2 weeks or once a month. I do a deep clean. So, I opened up the glass doors on the fireplace, and I was going to give it a deep clean in there because it didn't look like it had been cleaned. And lo and behold, I leave to go get some stuff so I can clean it because I looked it up on YouTube, how to clean the inside of a chimney or the fireplace. Lo and behold, there's a squirrel in my house making itself at home. I didn't kill it. I opened up the door and I just coaxed it outside. But when you live in the country like that, I don't care how clean you are, you're going to get mice. When you go into your nearest, and next time y'all go out to eat, or you go to Walmart or Sam's Club or wherever, those gray boxes, those metal gray boxes that are sitting on the floor, those are rat traps. And if you think Sam's, Walmart, Publix, any of those places don't get mice, you're dead wrong. They do get mice. So, I know they would not have taken that family out of that home just because of mice, just because of bugs, just because of any of it. Okay? I do know that. What they would have done, they would have went in there, they would have assessed everything, they would have told Betty, we're coming back either later that day or the next day. They would have sat down with her and they would have had a meeting with her. They would have told her what all needed to be fixed, what all needed to be done, and they would have gave her a time frame in order to do it. And when they had come back, if things have not been changed, if things have not been done, or it even looked like they haven't even started on the process of doing anything, then they would have went to a judge. APS would have went to a judge. They would have got a warrant, went inside the house with the police. Then they would have took the family out. And it wouldn't have been just Lorraine, Ray, and Timmy. They would have took Betty too. They're not going to leave Betty behind if the house was in that kind of condition. And her being as elderly as they are and walking with a cane, yeah, they're not going to do that. They would have took her too. So I can bet any money that, like I said in previous videos, Patrick's friend was right. I think Eric called APS and said that there was some essay going on. And Patrick, you didn't make it look no better. You really didn't help that case out, if that is what he did. And I do believe he did. That's my opinion. I believe he did. But it did not help your case out because you're sitting there teasing Betty about, give me a kiss. Give me, you're my girlfriend. Da-da-da-da. All this, that, and the other. So that makes it look bad on your end. But I'm just telling you like it is. So, I think what needs to happen is Patrick needs to get him a lawyer. Needs to find him a pro bono lawyer if he ain't already got one. Get down to the nitty gritty of it. Find out why APS only took those 3 and not Betty too. Because you're not going to piss in my hand and tell me it's raining. Sorry, I'm not stupid. I've worked in a courthouse. I worked for a probate judge. So, I mean, I had to do a lot of filing for that judge. So you're not going to sit here and tell me it's because of videos. It's because of this. It's because of that. Because if it was, like I said, they would have took Betty too. And it would not have been right away if it had just been the cleanliness of the house or the order of the house, whatever you want to call it. It would have been, they would have, they would have gave her a time frame. I'm sorry, I had a text message come up on my phone. But yeah, they would have gave her a time frame. But y'all, this is the end of my video because I can rant and rave and I could say what I need to say and what I would love to say about this whole thing. I think it's just messed up. But I will see y'all in the next video. Love y'all. Mean it.
Have a great night. What was it like growing up here? What was it like growing up here as kids?